Now, like my Roger Ebert death video, I may get emotional. So, if I do, then, well, I do. I'm an emotional, passionate man. Anyway, this is about the death of one of the greatest men who ever lived, Nelson Mandela. This man suffered in jail for 27 years in one of the worst hellholes anyone can imagine. He rose up, ended apartheid, one of the most unjust and evil racist policies that has happened in the history of the world, and he became the first black president of South Africa, becoming an inspiration to many people, including myself. This is a man I would put on the same playing field as Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, Robert Kennedy, Ted Kennedy, John Kennedy, and Abraham Lincoln, as well as George Washington. These are all men who were great and have done great things for society in many ways. Now, like I said, apartheid was an evil, racist thing that separated blacks from whites. And he was tortured. He was beaten like crazy. And I know someone who was in Congo, who was in one of those situations and escaped. And he came to America. Now this isn't about him, this is about Nelson Mandela. He suffered and suffered for his belief. Just like Martin Luther King suffered. And just like Malcolm X suffered. Except unlike those two men, he lived. He lived to see apartheid end. He lived to see South Africa prosper and grow. He lived to help so many people. And some people say, oh, he was a communist. He was a communist. Yeah, you know what? If he was a communist, then he was a great communist. And the perfect example of what Karl Marx's brilliance truly meant. Sorry, but Karl Marx was a fucking genius. And if you really read the Communist Manifesto, you would appreciate how brilliant he was. And I feel that as people in America, in South Africa, and in every country around the world, we must continue Martin Luther King's dream, Malcolm X's dream, and Nelson Mandela's dream to end bigotry, to end racism. Let's hope that a non-violent, peaceful wave of ending racism comes in. Because the more we work to end racism, the more we work to bring people together as one, that is honoring Nelson Mandela. The more we fight for gay equality, the more we fight for equal rights of minorities, that is honoring Nelson Mandela. And that is something we must do in America. We must do it in the United States. And I think we should strive to that level of greatness. To do what we can. He was just, remember, he was just a human being. And like many people today, I am not mourning his death. I am honoring Nelson Mandela's life. And I am honoring the struggle he went through by making this video. As I said, we must continue his progress to end racism. Racism hasn't ended yet. It's been greatly reduced in this country, in South Africa, and in some other countries around the world. But we must all work together to achieve that. Anyway, Nelson Mandela, I said this in my YouTube comment, and I will say it again. You were one of the greatest men who ever lived. You struggled through hell and back. You rose up. You became an inspiration for many people. And you lived long. And you prospered all the way through your life. And you, my friend, were the definition of a badass and a hero. Live long and prosper and have a nice day, everyone.